In the summer of 2021, after spending a week in Oban and the Inner Hebrides, we embarked on a journey north to explore the Isle of Skye and the Outer Hebrides. So first day of our second part of the trip, after spending a week in Oban and surroundings, we have taken a camper van and we're going to take around the Isle of Skye, Uist and Harris and northern side of Uist. But before we go there, we thought we'd stop on the way to Glenfinnan Viaduct. And for those of you who don't know what it is, if you've seen Harry Potter then you do know what it is, and that's the bridge where the steam trains goes past in the Scottish Islands. And that's where the Ron Weasley's car kind of flies around in the second film, Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting filming location for us. And now we're just chilling by the river, just trying to cool down after a very busy week that we've had. We've seen really so much from Oban. We've seen Iona, we've seen Staffa, we've been to Glencoe, Clynben Nevis, visited Kilken Castle, Inverary Castle. And yes, so much stuff back in the week. It was amazing. We were so lucky with the weather. And hopefully the weather will stay as it is now today the rest of the week, because I'm really looking forward to see Harris's beach with the sun. That should be incredible. But for now, we just enjoy the sun here today and looking forward to see the train coming up. So we're back to the van after the Glenfinnan Viaduct, and it was really cool. After a couple of hours of train spotting, we hopped back on the van and started heading towards the Isle of Skye, breathing in some of the gorgeous nature of the Scottish Islands. So yeah, we stopped at Eilean Castle, which is this amazing castle right on the waters of the, I'm gonna say sea. I'm never sure if it's a sea or a loch, because geography is weird here in Scotland. But yeah, fantastic pullover. We couldn't stop at a better place. This is it for today. We found an amazing spot here in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere on a side road. And we're just gonna have the most peaceful night right here. We have such a fun day. And Glenfinnan Viaduct, Eilean Castle, and now we're here in Skye, and I can't wait for tomorrow because we are headed to the fairy pools, which I've been looking forward to visit for a long time. So good night for now. So we had a very good night here on Skye. It's our first night here on the island, and we found the most peaceful spot you could imagine. And we woke up this morning to a perfect sunrise on the lake, and we couldn't have hoped for more, really. Now, after a very slow start, because we thought we'd breathe in some of this peace, some of this beautiful nature, we are going to head to the fairy pools, which is one of the most interesting places here on Skye. And we're going to look over the Coolin Mountains, which I'm really excited for, because apparently they're really beautiful. And yeah, looking forward to these 3 days on Skye. Sleep well?
Yeah, encased in mountains, overlooking a loch, and I think I might take a morning dip, or at least wash my face in the cold water.
The fairy pools are a series of natural pools of mountain spring water that have formed within the River Bristle as it flows down from the Black Cuillin Mountains.
Ferry pools here on the Isle of Skye. The weather is lush, it's so beautiful, it's so sunny, quite warm when you're not in melt water from the mountains. But yeah, we're really enjoying this. We have a little private spot all for ourselves, and the water is not even too freezing compared to what we swam yesterday in Iona.
Some people sort of questioning whether to take off their clothes and jump in because it is cold when you first get in. But nothing sitting under a waterfall won't fit. We've just been under those waterfalls, playing around, taking pictures, looking out for fairies, and yeah, now it's just chill.
But the best part of our day at the ferry pools was scrambling to one of the most secluded natural pools in the valley and enjoy splashing around in this little corner of freezing cold paradise. Instead of wild camping, tonight we decided to treat ourselves to the only campsite we'll be staying at on this trip. And the reason, well, look at this place. Hello, we are here at the store. We're here in the valley just below the massive, and the wind has died down a little bit, but on the way up it was really strong. It was starting to be a little bit cold. But here it's like a massive playground. You can jump from rock to rock, and everywhere you look it's just beautiful green and black rock. Old man of store. The Old Man of Store is one of the most iconic places in Scotland. The peculiar rock formation is part of the Trottenish Ridge, and from here you have unbelievable views over the Sound of Rossy. So we can just back down from the store, and I'm not joking when I say this is one of the most beautiful places I have ever been to. I did not expect this. I knew what the Old Man of Store looked like because I've seen so many pictures online from all sorts of photographers, but I had no idea about the surroundings. Oh my god, absolutely unbelievable. Our final stop of the day is the waterfall at Kilt Rock, which may have not been super exciting considering it was almost dry, but at the same time it turned out to be a fantastic location where to camp for the night. Good morning. We spent the best morning at the park up we found for the night. We cooked sausages and veggie haggis with some fresh baguette, and it was just amazing, apart from the midges that were quite a nuisance. Now we are here at the Kerrang for our last day on the Isle of Skye. We're going to be visiting the Kerrang, and then we're going to move on to the Ferry Glen before we go to Uist and take the ferry to Lewis and Harris. Important note, wild camping in a tent in Scotland is allowed, if not encouraged. Unlike England, it's not the same for vans, but that said, it's pretty much allowed. Look at her. Show us your bag. As I was trying to say, before this mongoose interrupted me, while camping in camper vans and motorhomes is technically not allowed. That said, if you find a quiet spot and you just clean after yourself and you don't make a massive mess or a lot of noise, no one will bother you. So yeah, come to Scotland. The coolest part about this walk that we're doing is that at the ferry pools it was quite busy, at the store it was quite busy. Here there is absolutely no one. We are literally the only two people I have seen since we parked the car. Went from boiling hot up there to freezing cold up here, but look at the views. The inevitable has happened. While I was flying my drone in the Kerrang, I wisely smashed it against the mountain. So I was filming these bad boys when my drone smashed probably somewhere there and then plunged to its death anywhere on this slope. And we don't know where it is. Rest in peace, drone. Went to find it through the GPS function, found the battery within a minute. And then I realized that without a battery, the drone is untraceable. Spent the next 3 hours trying to find it. Didn't. I honestly climbed parts of the mountain and the surrounding areas that I wouldn't have climbed otherwise. And Ellie desperately tried to help, going to places that I told her and advised her not to go because they were very steep. Despite our efforts, the drone is gone. Found the battery though. It's a shame just to lose the footage of the last 2 days, but what is done, I suppose. No drone footage for Lewis and Harris, which is a shame. But yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. Get a lunch! This is a little consolation for the lost Droney Jonathan. Dirty chips and a beer. Now we are queuing at the ferry that will take us from Uist on the Isle of Skye to Tarbet on Lewis and Harris. So it's going to be a very exciting few days on Lewis and Harris, and then we will move on to North Uist, and then we'll drive down to South Uist and eventually take the ferry back home. So our ferry back home was cancelled a few days ago, and because there's never reception here on the islands, I received the message quite late. So we had to find a way to get back because we need to go to work on Monday. But we did manage to find a late evening ferry that will take us back here in Uist rather than on Malik like originally planned. So that's going to take us a little longer, but at least we found a way to save the day. So yeah, final day on Skye. Skye was stunning. Skye was really beautiful, and I'm really glad we stopped here for as long as we did. I honestly could have easily stayed here for 3-4 times as much, but you know, time is tight and we have limited time to explore Scotland, and we try to see something different. Rest in peace, Drone. You did an amazing job, and it's really a shame that we won't be able to film on Lewis and Harris because the beaches are incredible and it would have been a lot of fun to use it there, but that's what happened and we can't do anything about it. After a very intense day, we left from the port of Uist and sailed west towards the Outer Hebrides. We spent our first night on Lewis and Harris in the most incredible spot, literally 50 meters from the incredible beach of Luskentyre. Would you believe it, this place? The color of this water is something I have never seen outside of Sardinia, to be honest. The only difference is that it is freezing cold, but we'll take it. So yeah, we went out with the paddleboard and for a swim. It was very, very nice. Absolutely not busy at all. Especially this morning, it was barely anyone on the beach, whereas in the afternoon it got a bit more crowded, but nothing like what we know in the south of England. So yeah, incredible place really.
I think this place is one of a kind. It's unlike anything I've seen before. The water is clearer than anything I've seen before. It is like images of the Caribbean, except from it's freezing cold. But that's fine. We've been in swimming and paddleboarding. Luca had a very close encounter with a seal that has been playing with us all day.
I was paddleboarding just a few minutes ago, and I looked up and I saw a little head poking out of the water, and I was like, the seal we've seen all day.
Yeah.
And the seal looked at me, I looked at the seal, 10 seconds, and then the seal flopped back into the water. I was, oh, I'm so lucky. It was incredible.
He chose you, Pickle.
It was so, so cool. I feel very blessed for such a close encounter with such an incredible creature. Yeah, now we're gonna probably head out because we have to find some showers for the night without going to a campsite, and we're gonna have to find a place for the night. following day, we decided to visit what is probably the most iconic location on Lewis and Harris, the Callanish Stone Circle. Good morning, we are on the Isle of Lewis and today we'll be visiting the Standing Stones of Callanish. There is a very interesting museum / visitor centre before the site, and I highly recommend going because it tells quite a lot about the history of the local geology. It tells you all about how the landscape used to look in the past centuries, and it's very interesting to know why this place is shaped like the way it is. So the standing stones were erected 5,000 years ago by the local population, and it is very interesting. There is quite a lot of them, and there is a few sites, I think 12 in total, of standing stones in the area of Callanish. Obviously this one is the most famous one and probably the biggest ones. Some of them are only a few stones and some of them have fallen through the years. But there is a very nice path that you can do that connects all of them, or some of them at least. I know at least 4 are connected by it. Yeah. So we are at the Black Houses of Arnold, and we call them Black Houses today, but they just used to be houses for the people living in this village. We have just visited one of the reconstructed ones and to show the way of living back in the days. And when I say back in the days, it's not that long ago. I think these are about 100 years old, and they were probably up and running until just a few decades ago. Let me tell you, the smell of peat in the Black House was something I will never forget. Very pungent, but very cozy and homey at the same time. So here we have the walls with 2 layers of stones on the inside and the outside, and in the middle there is a layer of earth to keep the house warm. So we just stopped at Stoneway to get some food supplies for the last few days, and yesterday we came across this place which is incredible because look at where we are right now. Okay, we are in the middle of nowhere, and just behind me here, in this place, that's a pizzeria. They make pizza. They make true Napolitan pizza, and I've seen their profile on Instagram, and it does look very good. So we decided to, on the way back here, stop and get some pizzas for dinner, early dinner, and I'm very, very excited to have one of them because I am starving and I really, really fancy a pizza today. Whoa!
That must be my one. Have I got oil on it?
No. Oh. You have some here. And this is mine one. Whoa! So yeah, we have the last 2 days and a half to go. We will take the ferry to North Uist tomorrow morning, and we'll spend the last part of our holiday there. And then we have a very long drive back to the south of England from Uist on the Isle of Skye all the way to Winchester in Hampshire. So that's about 12 hours if we're lucky and there's no traffic. So not very much looking forward to it, but definitely worth for all that we've seen here in Scotland.
And then she took it with her along with $100 in a game book.
After a few days on Lewis and Harris, the UK's largest island, we found a quite wild spot for the night, ready for the ferry the next morning. Good morning. We have just taken a ferry from Harris to North Uist, and now we are driving towards Eriksay, which is going to be our first stop of the day. And we are probably gonna go to the beach and have some whiskey, so it doesn't sound like a very hard day for us. So we have just reached the Isle of Eriksay and it's around lunchtime, so we thought we'd have lunch and we'd cook it here on the beach. And I think we couldn't find a better spot. Today the day is not as gorgeous as it was in the last few weeks, but it's not raining, so I guess we can't complain. Yeah, this place is really cool. What are you having for lunch?
We are having paprika peppers with butter beans and rice.
Politician is no regular pub. In fact, it takes its name from the vessel SS Politician, which sank off the coast of Eriksay in 1941 while it was headed to Jamaica. The citizens of Eriksay saved both the crew and the 40,000 cases of whiskey that the ship was carrying.
Morning of our final day here on Eriksay. We just woke up and cooked some sausages right by the van. Luckily there were no midges this morning, so we had time to have a nice breakfast. And now I am at the beach here in Eriksay to say goodbye, because I know I say peaceful a lot when it comes to Scotland, but this place was the next level, literally paradise. It's a shame it was cloudy and we didn't get to see this in sunny conditions, but overall I really enjoyed just sitting here watching the fish and paddleboarding on the bay. That it's so calm, the water is so still. And now we're gonna make our way up to North Uist, spend the day in North Uist, and then unfortunately take the ferry back to Skye, and then we're gonna have a lovely 12-hour drive back to Hampshire, which I'm really not looking forward to, but it's the price to pay to see those beautiful places. We are in South Uist trying to find the archaeological site called Clad Hanan. As you can see, it's got much colder today, and I think the summer window that we were so lucky to travel on is closing down, and the wind is quite cold and it's starting to be autumn here in the Hebrides, I reckon. We're trying to find this place, and we're currently at this Commonwealth War grave. There doesn't seem to be an indication of where this place might be, so we're just going to try and walk around and see if we can find it. It's a really interesting spot because it's where the only prehistoric mummies in Britain were found, so probably a very interesting place worth the spot. We're going to see if we can find it. So one of the things I really wanted to try while in Scotland was something that I've never tried before, and I thought, what a better opportunity than coming here. Iron brew. I have no idea what this tastes like. Ellie told me it's like fluorescent orange, but apart from that I have no information about what this is going to taste like. Right, there's a man holding the bee. Original and best. Right, let's try this. Kind of can't see the colour from the can though. It tastes like medicine. Mm. I don't hate it. I don't think I love it. Acid. No, I think you went just. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think. Iron brew.
It's okay.
I'll have it.
Uppbeat is the best preserved Neolithic chambered cairn in the Outer Hebrides, and it served as a communal resting place for the Neolithic farming communities that used to live on the island.
Very nice stop on the way to Loch Maddy, definitely worth it. And what a view from up here, it's incredible. Very windy though, so windy when we're trying to cook. Never took me that long to cook some pasta pomodoro, honestly. But oh, yeah, super peaceful place. And if you are in the area, give North Uist and South Uist a go. To the end of our holiday.